Good evening. Today is Tuesday, May 27, 2025. I call to order a meeting of the Brockton City Council. Will everyone please rise and join me in honoring our country by saluting our flag? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Mr. Clerk, agenda item number 1, please.
Item 1, we have the acceptance of the minutes of the April 28th, 2025 City Council meeting.
Accepted and placed on file.
We have the reappointment of Sharifa K. Mapp of Brockton, Mass. to the Brockton Beautification Committee for a one-year term ending in May 2026.
Referred to Finance.
We have a hearing on the petition of Fistori Corporation, DBA Modern Auto Body. Francis J. Fistori, President of 11 Gilbert's Way, Norton, Mass. for a motor vehicle mechanical repair license located at 528 North Montello Street, Brockton, Mass. In City Clerk's office, January 8th, 2025. Hearing assigned for May 27th, 2025. Fire Department has no objections. All paperwork is on file.
Time having arrived, I declare this hearing open. The
Thank you,
petitioner present, if so, please come forward and give your name and address to the clerk.
Thank you, Mr. President. Attorney Jake Creedon, 71 Legion Parkway, Brockton. With me is Frank Fistori, who's on both petitions, owns Modern Auto Body. Okay?
Good evening, Council. Mr. Clerk, I believe you want to add something here.
I just wanted to let you know this is a little different than most of these. They have added a garage across the street. This is actually an amendment to their original license, so that both will be included on the license. It's not a new license. It's an amendment to their existing license. Across the street, they've added a garage, and this license will be for the two addresses, but the same business. So it's not a new license. It's an amendment to the original license.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. And Council, you can continue.
Thank you, Mr. President, and through you to the members of the Council. Unlike most Creedons, I will not belabor and really spend a lot of time speaking. I got to tell you, this man here is, I'm sure, the oldest continuous auto body mechanical repair guy in the city, plus 40 years. Every time I go there, which is quite frequently to do legal business, I have to find, because it's a family business. In the front row here is his daughter Taylor, second row, okay? And she's the administrative head. His son and his son-in-law. It is a family business, will continue for the next probably 3 or 4 decades to be a family business. Never had a violation in all that time. Every time, as I started to say that I go there, I have to see Taylor or one of the boys and say, "Where's your dad?" And they say, "Well, he's out working." I go out there, he's literally under the hood. Every time I've been there, this man under the hood, training or doing something with the situation. He started with 1 employee 40 plus years ago, moved it to 3, correct? Now he's just under 30 skilled mechanical employees. The business, because he's never had a complaint, does beautiful business, must have the right price, I guess. And yeah, and so I can't say enough about him personally, but his family will continue that situation. The location we're talking about is directly across the street, which he owns. Both locations have a garage license, and so I'd ask you to consider issuing this new one. One more little point. I don't know of except one other auto place, because of the way it's been around in the city. He has a green belt out front with flowers and plantings, which we had to get, and that's all completed. So it actually looks nice up at 528 North Montello Street, North Main Street. North Montello, excuse me. So I could go on and on about this guy, but again, it's family run, it's without a violation, it's a perfect location, entrance and exits are beautiful, parking lot is brand new, everything's nice about it. Is that enough, Tim?
Thank you, Council.
Okay.
Excuse me. Is there anyone here in favor? If so, please come forward. Seeing none, I'll close that part of the hearing. Anyone here in opposition, please come forward. Seeing none, I'll close this portion of the hearing.
Mr. President.
Councilor Lally.
Thank you, Mr. President. I just want to take a moment to speak on this. Modern Auto has been around in the city for a long time, and I think in their entire history, I have not received anything other than a glowing review of it. It is immaculate. It is, they take care of their customers. They are regarded by code enforcement and, really by most people in the city as the gold standard for what you want in this kind of a business. We are incredibly lucky to have such an engaged, responsible member of the business community here. And the fact that they're expanding, that they're investing more money and they're doubling down is really something that should be applauded. So I appreciate their investment. I appreciate their time. I would enthusiastically endorse this to my colleagues, and I hope to see it pass.
Thank you, Councilor. Councilors, the question comes on granting by hand vote. All in favor? Oh, sorry. Councilor Nicastro.
Thank you. I'll only be 1 minute. Gentlemen, good evening. Mr. Vistori, I represent the south side of the city, and every time I drive by your property, if the business is closed, you'd never know you were running a car repair place because there's no cars ever left outside. The place is always immaculate, and coming from the south side of the city, I just want to compliment you and your staff for the efforts you make to keep it looking so good, because you're a credit to Ward 6 and your side of the city. And I also understand your work is very fine, too. So congratulations. I will support this. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, councilors. Thank you, Councilor Nicastro. I believe we had a vote.
New questions?
We'll do that again. Question comes on granting by hand vote. All in favor? Anyone opposed? The petition's granted. Thank you.
Thank you. You can stay there. Yeah.
That's on both?
Item number 4, no. Petition of
Didn't think
Fistori
so, yeah.
Corporation, DBA Modern Auto Body, Francis J. Fistori, President, of 11 Gilbert's Way, Norton, Mass., for a motor vehicle repair body license located at 561 North Montello Street, Brockton, Mass. In City Clerk's Office, January 8, 2025. Hearing assigned for May 27, 2025. Fire Department has no objections. All paperwork is on file. And again, this is the same thing where this is actually an amendment to the existing license.
So, time having arrived, I declare this hearing open. Mr. Petitioner, please come forward and give your name and address to the clerk.
Right here. Good. Right here.
Your counsel can do it on your behalf. Joe.
You can do
Okay.
it, yeah.
Okay, Attorney Jake Creedon, 71 Legion Parkway, Brockton. With me is Frank Vistori, owner outright of
Modern Auto.
Modern Auto. Thanks, Frank. I have not a lot to add to what I already said, except two things. Two deputy chiefs, Eddie Williams and Brendan Weeks, has approved, been through the whole thing, because he has such a beautiful new setup. And the last thing I'd say, and it has nothing to do with the licenses, if the city wants to honor somebody that's been a lifelong Brockton tax-paying, contributing person, blue collar, somebody ought to nominate him.
Yeah.
I know you don't want it, but thank you.
Thank you,
City's been
counsel.
good to me, too.
And thank you, Mr. Pistori. Is there anyone here in favor? If so, please come forward. Seeing none, I declare that portion of the hearing closed. Anybody here in opposition? Seeing none, I declare that portion of the hearing closed. Any councilors like to speak on this matter? Seeing none, we'll move to a vote. The question comes on granting by hand vote. All in favor? Anyone opposed? The petition is granted. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
Thank you, members of the council. Thank you.
Thank you.
Item 5, we have the petition of Mass Electric Company, DBA National Grid, to install 4 SO poles on North Carey Street, beginning at a point approximately 500 feet south of the center line of the intersection of Ashfield Drive. National Grid to install 40-foot Class H1 pole and 3 40-foot Class 2 pole. Pole will be installed opposite of the existing pole 25, 27, and 28. Poles will be labeled 26, 26-25, 26-5, and 26-75. In City Clerk's Office, April 15th, 2025. Hearing assigned for May 27th, 2025. All paperwork is on file.
Time having arrived, I declare this hearing open. Is the petitioner present? If so, please come forward and give your name and address to the clerk.
How you guys doing today? My name is Mohammed Jamous, work for National Grid at 100 East Ashland Street, Brockton, Massachusetts. Just a little quick background. That section over there is double feeder, So we're installing a secondary pole line on the other side of the street so we can separate the 2 feeders and allow for that install of the recloser. And then we just come back and it goes back to being double feeder again.
Great. Is there anyone here in favor? If so, please come forward. Seeing none, I declare that portion of the hearing closed. Anyone here in opposition? Seeing none, I declare that portion of the hearing closed. Councilors, any questions? Seeing none, the question comes on granting by hand vote. All in favor? Anyone opposed? The petition is granted.
Thank you so
sir.
much, guys. Have a good one.
Item 6, we have the petition of Mabrook Diamonds of 272 Middle Highway, Barrington, Rhode Island, for a secondhand precious metals and gems license located at 21 Torrey Street, Brockton, Mass. In City Clerk's Office, April 17th, 2025. Hearing assigned for May 27, 2025. All paperwork is on file.
Time having arrived, I declare this hearing open. Is the petitioner present? If so, please come forward and give your name and address to the clerk.
Ashraf Mabrook, 272 Middle Highway, Barrington, Rhode Island, 02806.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Floor is yours if you'd like to say anything about this license to the council.
We've had a similar business in state of Rhode Island, and now we open in Brockton, Mass. So we're looking for to be granted the license for Massachusetts.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Is anyone here in favor? Seeing none, I declare that portion of the hearing closed. Anyone here in opposition? Seeing none, I declare that portion of the hearing closed. Councilors, any questions? Councilor Farwell.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. How long have you been in business in Rhode Island?
We started the business in 1991, about 33 years.
1991?
Yep.
And any violations with the Barrington Police, any problems with the state of Rhode Island? Everything's been...
None whatsoever.
All right, and are you familiar with the record-keeping requirements for secondhand precious metals here in Massachusetts? You're fully familiar with what we require here in Brockton?
Yes.
Okay, and what will you be dealing with if you know? I mean, specialty items, diamonds, or
It's
everything?
basically, whether it's diamonds or used gold or even new gold for that matter, and just basically only purchasing.
Okay, and you'll be at 21 Torrey Street in that plaza?
Correct.
Okay, and what will the hours be?
10 to 6 daily on the weekend until 4 o'clock.
Okay. And how many employees do you think you'll have, sir?
Initially, it would just be myself and my wife.
You and your wife?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Councilor. Anyone else? Seeing none, question comes on granting by hand vote. All in favor? Anyone opposed? The petition is granted.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
And good luck.
I appreciate it.
Item 7, we have the petition of Ethan Watkins of 15306 Chestnut West, Randolph, Mass. For a license to solicit and canvass. In City Clerk's Office, May 1st, 2025. Hearing assigned for May 27, 2025. All paperwork is on file.
Time having arrived, I declare this hearing open. If the petitioner is present, please come forward and give your name and address to the clerk.
My name is Ethan Watkins. We work with Active Environmental, so we sell pest control.
Good evening, Mr. Watkins. Okay, so you're here for a solicitor's license?
Yes.
And you're a pest control company?
Yeah.
Okay. Anyone here in favor? Seeing none, I declare that portion of the hearing closed. Anyone here in opposition? Seeing none, I declare that portion of the hearing closed. Councilors, any questions? Councilor Nicastro.
Thank you. Good evening, Mr. Watkins. What is the name of your company?
It's Active.
Aptive?
Yeah. APTIVE.
APT. Okay.
Environmental also.
And how long has your company been doing business in Massachusetts?
Sorry, I'm his boss, Jake.
Hi.
I'm, I think 9. So
What's your?
my name's Jacob Asplin.
Jake from
yeah, I'm on,
Active?
I'm on 9. So
Okay,
Active's been a company since 2015. So
2015, okay. And what kind of services do you sell?
we sell pest control, so rodent services, general pests, and mosquitoes.
Okay. And you're planning to do this by going door to door?
Yeah, so we already have customers in Brockton, and so basically our job is to fill routes. So we just kind of ask neighbors if they would like to join for a discount while we're already there.
And what hours will you be doing this soliciting?
So in other cities, we work from 11 to dark, or as late as they allow us to. So if you guys have a time that you guys would like us to end, we'll accommodate accordingly. So usually it's around 7:38 because we don't want to knock when people are sleeping. Or
And what other cities are you doing this in?
we did it in Randolph, we did it in Plymouth, Hanover. Well, we've done it in a lot of places. Braintree,
Okay,
kind of all over.
okay. Thank you. Thank you, Mr.
Thank you,
Chair.
Councilor. Councilor Lally.
President.
Thank you, Mr. President. Good evening. I just want to check and see, because we've had, trouble with this in the past.
Yeah.
You know that you have to have identification that's visible on a lanyard. Yep. And how, when somebody says they're not interested, that's it.
Yep.
Really clear out. So
Yeah.
if we get comments or concerns about representatives from Aptiv, this council will take this back up with an eye to revoking,
Yeah, totally fine.
just to be abundantly clear. All right. Are any of the applicants from the city, or do you
No, we're
travel
all-
around?
We're traveling.
Okay. Thank you.
We live in Randolph, 15306 Chestnut.
Fair enough. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Councilor. And gentlemen, it's just in chambers, we just ask that you remove your hats.
Our bad.
Okay.
Sorry
No,
about that.
all right, no problem. Councilor Davenport.
Thank you. I'm going to keep this short. So, to sort of like circle back to what one of my colleagues just stated, obviously I receive multiple calls about people going to people's house. And obviously sometimes, someone may not be interested. And at the end of the day, obviously you are doing your job, but, they can tell you, hey, man, leave my house. I'm not interested. So, I will support this, but like some of my colleagues stated that when you go to somebody's house, right, you press the bell and nobody opened the door, I think it's time for you to leave. And if somebody opens the door and asks you to leave, I think, the easiest thing would be to just leave the house, not to have a conversation, not to try to convince them, because obviously some people may ask you to leave for multiple reasons. Sometimes they can be too busy, they just got off work, trying to get some rest and da-da-da. So obviously, you guys may not be familiar with the city. So if you go to a neighborhood, and it doesn't matter where in the city, and you meet somebody who asks you politely to leave the house, just leave. Because sometimes, if they call the police, you guys will have to come up with an explanation. You don't want to get there. So just do what you're supposed to do and then take it from there. Because like I stated earlier, I receive multiple calls, including somebody who lives next to my house, complaining about people going over their house and refuse to leave. And she actually sent me video of people trying to convince her to buy certain things, which they are not interested in. So I'll leave it there. Just good luck with whatever you do, and just take it from there, okay?
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor. Anyone else? Councilor Farwell.
Just, and this will apply to all of you, but are you going to be doing just sales, or will you be applying pesticides and services to a?
So we specifically won't be applying the pesticides, so we just do the sales side, and then we have probably one other person that will do the servicing side.
Okay, so you're strictly sales, make
Yeah.
people aware of your services? All right, thank you.
Yeah, no worries.
Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor. All right, so Councilors, question comes on granting by hand vote. All in favor? Anyone opposed? Petition's granted. Thank you, gentlemen.
You can stay there, because we now have the petition of Joshua Watkins of 15306 Chestnut, West Randolph, for a license to solicit and canvass. In City Clerk's office, May 1st, 2025. Hearing assigned for May 27, 2025. All paperwork is on file.
Time having arrived, I declare this hearing open. If the petitioner is present, please come forward and give your name and address to the clerk.
Hi, I'm Josh Watkins. I live at 15306 Chestnut Way in Randolph as well.
Is there anyone here in favor? If so, please come forward. Seeing none, I declare that portion of the hearing closed. Anyone here in opposition? Seeing none, I declare that portion of the hearing closed. Councilors, any questions? Seeing none, question comes on granting by hand vote. All in favor? Anyone opposed? The petition's granted. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much.
Item 9, we have the petition of Jacob Asplund of 15306 Chestnut West Randolph, Chestnut Street West Randolph, for a license to solicit and canvass in City Clerk's office, May 1st, 2025. Hearing assigned for May 27, 2025. All paperwork is on file.
Time having arrived, I declare this hearing open. The petitioner is present. Please come forward and give your name and address to the clerk.
Jacob Asplund, 15306 Chestnut West, Randolph, Massachusetts.
Is there anyone here in favor? If so, please give your name and address to the clerk. Seeing none, I declare that portion of the hearing closed. Is there anyone here in opposition? Seeing none, I declare that portion of the hearing closed. Councilors, any questions? Councilor Lally.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Sorry, just a follow-up. I figured I'd wait for you because you're the
You're
boss.
good. I appreciate it.
So this service is some kind of a subscription?
Yes.
Okay,
So I can be yearly or every 2 years. And we usually come out monthly or bi-monthly. We have
Okay.
a quarterly plan too.
and part of your pitch and your presentation touches on cancellation.
Yeah.
And you make that clear to the residents?
Yeah, so every customer that we sign up, actually started this year, we actually go through an AI welcome letter. So we get them with a video saying that they agree to the subscription. So the monthly price, the initial price, cancellation policies, and then how long the term is for.
So how do you cancel a subscription?
Yeah, so they can either call into our local office, which is in Foxborough, or we have a corporate office that is in Salt Lake City, Utah, that they can call into.
Okay, thank you.
Or they can call us directly, so.
All right, thank you. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Councilor. Anyone else? Seeing none, question comes on granting by hand vote. All in favor? Anyone opposed? The petition is granted.
Thank you.
Item 10, we have the petition of Ryan Asplund of 15306 Chestnut West Randolph for a license to solicit and canvass in City Clerk's office, May 1st, 2025. Hearing is signed for May 27, 2025. All paperwork is on file.
Time having arrived, I declare this hearing open. If the petitioner is present, please come forward and give your name and address to the clerk.
My name is Ryan Asplund. I live at 15306 Chestnut West, Randolph, Massachusetts.
Thank you, Mr. Asplund. Is there anyone here in favor? Seeing none, I declare that portion of the hearing closed. Anyone here in opposition? Seeing none, I declare that portion of the hearing closed. Councilors, any questions? Seeing none, the question comes on granting by hand vote. All in favor? Anyone opposed? Petition's granted. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Item 11, we have the report of the Finance Committee for its meeting of May 19th, 2025.
Accepted and placed on file.
We have a communication from the mayor reappointing Sharifa K. Mapp of Brockton, Mass. to the Brockton Beautification Committee for a one-year term ending in May 2026.
Accepted and placed on file.
Communication from the Director of the Council on Aging requesting the City Council to accept a 26 by 20-inch photograph of a snow-covered bench at DW Fields Park and an engraved plate that Mr. and Mrs. Ernest Webby want to donate to the COA.
Accepted and placed on file.
Communication from the mayor recommending the same.
Accepted and filed.
Communication from the Director of the COA requesting that City Council consider naming one of their rooms in honor of Dorothy Slack, who has faithfully served the Council on Aging for over 20 years. Her dedication exemplifies the mission and values of the Council on Aging, and naming the Outreach Department after Mrs. Slack would be a meaningful and lasting tribute to her extraordinary service.
Accepted and placed on file.
Communication from the mayor recommending the same.
Accepted and filed.
Communication from the mayor in accordance with the general laws of Massachusetts, Chapter 44, recommending that the City Council authorize a transfer of $1,550,000. These funds will support the water enterprise's contractual obligation to the Aquaria desalination plant for the remainder of the fiscal year.
Accepted and placed on file.
Communication from the CFO relative to the same.
Accepted and filed.
Communication from the mayor in accordance with the general laws of Massachusetts, Chapter 44, recommending that the City Council authorize the transfer of $35,000. These funds will support the sewer enterprise's overtime category for the remainder of the fiscal year.
Accepted and placed on file.
Communication from the CFO relative to the same.
Accepted and filed.
Communication from the mayor in accordance with the general laws of Massachusetts, Chapter 44, recommending that the city council authorize the transfer of $501,902.66. These funds will fully support the sewer enterprise's purchase of services category for the remainder of the fiscal year.
Accept and place on file.
Mr. Chairman,
Councilor Farwell.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but where are we transferring this from? Have I missed?
That will come in the order. This is just communication.
Oh, you mean later on in the meeting?
Yes, in the meeting when I read the
All right,
order.
thank you.
Communication from the CFO relative to the same.
Accepted and filed.
Communication from the mayor in accordance with the general laws of Massachusetts, Chapter 44, recommending that the city council authorize the transfer of $50,000. These funds will support the water enterprise's overtime costs for the remainder of the fiscal year.
Accepted and placed on file.
We have a communication from the CFO relative to the same.
Accepted and filed.
Communication from the mayor in accordance with the general laws of Massachusetts, Chapter 44, recommending that the city council authorize the proposed rate increase for refuse rates beginning in FY26. The increase in fees will ensure that the refuse enterprise remains in good financial standing, as well as positively impacting the retained earnings of the enterprise fund.
Accepted and placed on file.
Communication from the CFO relative to the same.
Accepted and filed.
Communication from the mayor in accordance with the general laws of Massachusetts, Chapter 44, recommending that the city council authorize the proposed land taking located at the following described parcels of land: 10 Ellsworth Street, 114 Newbury Street, 112 Newbury Street. And in the order that we read, there'll be further descriptions of those.
Accepted and placed on file.
Communication from the CFO relative to the same.
Accepted and filed.
Communication from financial analyst Andrew Barbetto requesting a residency waiver under Section 2-110 of the ordinances of the city of Brockton.
Accepted and placed on file.
Communication from the mayor relative to the same.
Accepted and filed.
Communication from financial analyst Megan McKee requesting a residency waiver under Section 2-110 of the ordinances of the city of Brockton.
Accepted and placed on file.
Communication from the mayor recommending the same.
Accepted and filed.
Unfinished business, we have the reappointment of Matthew Stanton of 160 Tribou Street, Brockton, Mass. to the Brockton Beautification Committee for a one-year term ending in April 2026.
Councilors, the question.
Excuse me,
sorry.
my fault. In City Council, May 12, 2025, read and referred to the Standing Committee on Finance. That report was favorable.
Councilors, the question is on confirmation by roll call vote. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Durancourt,
Yes.
Farwell,
Yes.
Griffin,
Yes.
Lally,
Yes.
Nicastro,
Yes.
Rodriguez,
Yes.
Tavares,
Yes.
Texera,
Yes.
Thompson.
Yes.
9 in the
The
affirmative.
appointment is confirmed.
We have the reappointment of Linda Piantronio of Brockton, Mass. to the Beautification Committee for a one-year term ending in May 2026. In City Council, May 12, 2025, read and referred to the Standing Committee on Finance. That report was favorable.
The question is on confirmation by roll call vote. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Durancourt,
Yes.
Farwell,
Yes.
Griffin,
Yes.
Lally,
Yes.
Nicastro,
Yes.
Rodriguez,
Yes.
Tavares,
Yes.
Texera,
Yes.
Thompson.
Yes.
9 in the affirmative.
The appointment is confirmed.
We have the reappointment of Kelly Hanlon of Brockton, Mass. to the Beautification Committee for a one-year term ending in May 2026. In City Council, May 12, 2025, read and referred to the Standing Committee on Finance. That report was favorable.
The question is on confirmation by roll call vote. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Durancourt,
Yes.
Farwell,
Yes.
Griffin,
Yes.
Lally,
Yes.
Nicastro,
Yes.
Rodriguez,
Yes.
Tavares,
Yes.
Texera,
Yes.
Thompson.
Yes.
9 in the affirmative.
The appointment is confirmed.
We have the reappointment of Peggy Curtis of Brockton, Mass. to the Brockton Conservation Committee for a three-year term ending in April 2028. In City Council, May 12, 2025, read and referred to the Standing Committee on Finance. That report was favorable.
The question is on confirmation by a roll call vote. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Durancourt,
Yes.
Farwell,
Yes.
Griffin,
Yes.
Lally,
Yes.
Nicastro,
Yes.
Rodriguez,
Yes.
Tavares,
Yes.
Texera,
Yes.
Thompson.
Yes.
9 in the affirmative.
The appointment is confirmed. Number 37.
Ordered that City Council authorizes the acceptance and expenditure of the total grant funds in the amount of $11,961.20 from the Commonwealth of Massachusetts Department of Fire Services to the Brockton Fire Department. In City Council, May 12, 2025, read and referred to the Standing Committee on Finance. That report was favorable.
The question is on adoption by roll call vote. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Durancourt,
Yes.
Farwell,
Yes.
Griffin,
Yes.
Lally,
Yes.
Nicastro,
Yes.
Rodriguez,
Yes.
Tavares,
Yes.
Texera,
Yes.
Thompson.
Yes.
9 in the affirmative.
The order is adopted.
Item 38, ordered that the City of Brockton appropriate the amount of $3 million for the purpose of paying for design and construction of various stormwater improvements throughout the city. To meet this appropriation, the city treasurer, with the approval of the mayor, is authorized to borrow said amount under Mass General Laws, Chapter 44, Chapter 44, Section 7-1, or pursuant to any other enabling authority, and to issue bonds or notes of the city therefore. Further ordered that the city treasurer is authorized to file an application with the Commonwealth of Massachusetts Municipal Finance Oversight Board to qualify under Mass General Laws, Chapter 44A, any and all bonds or notes of the city authorized by this vote, and to provide such information and execute such documents as the Municipal Finance Oversight Board of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts may require. In City Council, May 12, 2025, read and referred to the Standing Committee on Finance. That report was favorable.
Councilors, the question is on passage to a third reading by hand vote. All in favor? Anyone opposed? The matter's passed to a third reading.
Item 39, ordered that the following named sum be, and the same is hereby transferred, as the same was submitted by the mayor as follows. Transfer of $12,000 from animal control full-time salaries to animal control overtime. In City Council, May 12, 2025, read and referred to the Standing Committee on Finance. That report was favorable.
Question is on adoption by roll call vote. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Draincourt,
Yes.
Farwell,
Yes.
Griffin,
Yes.
Lally,
Yes.
Nicastro,
Yes.
Rodriguez,
Yes.
Tavares,
Yes.
Texera,
Yes.
Thompson.
Yes.
9 in the affirmative.
The order is adopted.
Item 40, be it resolved by the Brockton City Council to invite Jennifer Sprague, Second Assistant District Attorney for the Plymouth County District Attorney's Office, to appear before the Finance Committee to discuss the creation, excuse me, of a community court in the Brockton District Courthouse, which said community court will be a restorative justice program, excuse me, to address low-level quality of life offenses and will involve access to mental health counseling, drug, alcohol treatment, housing assistance, and other vital resources. In City Council, May 13th, 2024, read and referred to the Standing Committee on Finance. That report was favorable.
Councilors, the question is on adoption by hand vote. All in favor? Anyone opposed? The resolve is adopted.
Thank you. Ordinance, be it ordained by the City Council of the City of Brockton to adopt an amendment to the Fairgrounds Overlay District as follows. Strike the following language in Section 5A, parking residential. Parking is accessory to any of the above permitted uses, including surface garage under and structured parking provided. However, on-site surface parking shall not provide more than 30% of the required parking per project.
Refer to ordinance.
Ordered that the following named sum be, and the same is hereby transferred, as the same was submitted by the mayor as follows. Transfer of $1,550,000 from DPW Water retained earnings to DPW Water desal fixed charge.
Refer to finance.
Order that the following named sum be, and the same is hereby transferred, as the same was submitted by the mayor as follows. Transfer of $35,000 from DPW Sewer Personal Services Non-Overtime to DPW Sewer Personal Services Overtime.
Refer to finance.
Order that the following named sum be, and the same is hereby transferred, as the same was submitted by the mayor as follows. Transfer of $501,902.66 from DPW Sewer Personal Services Non-Overtime, $350,000. From DPW Sewer Goods and Supplies, $90,000. From DPW Sewer Debt Services, $61,902.66. To DPW Sewer Purchase of Services, $501,902.66.
Refer to finance.
Ordered that the following named sum be, and the same is hereby transferred, as the same was submitted by the mayor as follows. Transfer of $50,000 from DPW Water Personal Services Non-Overtime to DPW Water Personal Services Overtime.
Refer to finance.
Ordered that the City Council approves the increase of the refuse fees from $90 per quarter to $110 per quarter in order to prevent financial deficit for the refuse enterprise, as well as positively impact retained earnings for the enterprise fund.
Refer to finance.
Whereas, in the opinion of the mayor and the city council of the city of Brockton, the public convenience and necessity of the inhabitants of the city require that the following described parcels of land abutting Newbury Street and Ellsworth Street in the city of Brockton be taken in fee for highway purposes from certain owners of land abutting said streets, as the same are more particularly described hereinafter, and whereas it is the intention of the mayor and the city council to take said land by right of eminent domain as set forth in the order of notice annexed hereto will full appear. Ordered that the city of Brockton does hereby take in fee in accordance with Mass General Law, Chapter 79, and/or other applicable law, the following parcels of land, to wit: 10 Ellsworth Street, Brockton, Mass. 02301, parcel ID 053-071. Permanent easement as follows, beginning at a point at the southeast corner of the intersection of the westerly line of Newbury Street and the southerly line of Ellsworth Street, then west along the southerly line of Ellsworth Street, a distance of 8 feet more or less, thence leaving the sidelines south 7 degrees 43 minutes 45 seconds east 4.10 feet, then north 82 degrees 17 minutes 44 seconds east 7.67 feet to a point on the westerly line of Newbury Street, thence north along the westerly line of Newbury Street 4 feet more or less to the point of beginning, containing about 31 square feet, as shown on plan entitled Easement Plan for CDM Smith, Newbury Street, Brockton, Massachusetts. Temporary easement as follows, beginning at a point in the westerly line of Newbury Street, 4 feet south of the corner of the intersection of the westerly line of Newbury Street and the southerly line of Ellsworth Street, hence south a distance of 56 feet more or less along the westerly line of Newbury Street, thence west by a land now or formerly of Wind Properties LLC, a distance of 9 feet more or less, thence north a distance of 60 feet more or less to a point in the southerly line of Ellsworth Street, thence east along the southerly line of Ellsworth Street, a distance of 1 foot more or less, thence south a distance of 4 feet more or less, thence east a distance of 8 feet more or less, to a point on the westerly line of Newbury Street and the point of beginning containing about 479 square feet, as shown on a plan entitled Easement Plan of Land for CDM Smith, Newbury Street, Brockton, Massachusetts. 114 Newbury Street, Brockton, Mass. Parcel ID 058-043. Temporary easement as follows, beginning at a point on the northwest corner of land of Antonio A. Vaz and Maria G. Fidalgo, and at the southwest corner of land of the city of Brockton, on the easterly line of Newbury Street, thence east by land now of formerly of the city of Brockton, a distance of 10 feet more or less, thence south a distance of 25 feet more or less, thence west a distance of 10 feet more or less to the easterly line of Newbury Street, thence west a distance of 10 feet more or less to the easterly line of Newbury Street, thence north by the easterly line of Newbury Street, a distance of 25 feet more or less to the point of beginning containing about 257 square feet, as shown on plan entitled Easement Plan of Land for CDM Smith, Newbury Street, Brockton, Mass.
Refer to finance.
Well, I'm not done yet. There's more.
Okay.
112 Newbury Street, Brockton, Mass. Parcel ID 053-053. Temporary easement as follows, beginning at a point on the easterly line of Newbury Street, being 25.63 feet from a stone-bound drill hole as shown on plan. Thence east by land now or formerly of Robertson Thomas Jr. and May L. Berry, a distance of 23 feet more or less. Thence south a distance of 40 feet more or less to land now or formerly of Antonio A. Vaz and Maria G. Fidalgo. Thence west by land now or formerly of Antonio A. Vaz and Maria G. Fidalgo, a distance of 23 feet more or less to the easterly line of Newbury Street. Thence north by the easterly line of Newbury Street to a distance of 40 feet or more or less to the point of beginning, containing about 920 square feet as shown on plan entitled Easement Plan of Land for CDM Smith, Newbury Street, Brockton, Mass. We have considered and estimated the damages sustained by all persons who have not waived damages in their several estates and hereby determine and award the same as follows: to be paid from the bond amounts previously authorized by the City Council for purchase of or taking of property for public safety and general municipal purposes. Property owner, 10 Ellsworth Street, Brockton, Mass. Parcel ID 053-071, book 54304, page 236. Owners, Hansel A. Sumner and Amp. Sabria S. Stewart, $5,300. 114 Newbury Street, Brockton, Mass. Parcel ID 058-043, book 14764, page 13. Owners, Antonio A. Vaz and Amp. Maria G. Fidalgo, $5,200. 112 Newbury Street, Brockton, Mass. 02301, parcel ID 053-053, book 14689, page 59. Owner, City of Brockton. Now I'm done.
Refer to finance.
Thank you. Item 48, a waiver of the City of Brockton's residency requirement under Section 2-110 of the city ordinances for financial analyst Andrew Barbetto.
Refer to finance.
We also have an order, a waiver of the City of Brockton's residency requirement under Section 2-110 of the city ordinances for financial analyst Megan McKee.
Refer to finance.
And also, there were 2 letters of communications I read just for information. They're just the donations to the Council on Aging don't require council action. That was a communication to let you know.
Thank you. Councilors, any late files? Councilor Griffin.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have a late file.
Motion to accept the late file. All in favor? Anyone opposed?
Needs to be a
Late
second.
files approved. Mr. Clerk.
We have a communication from the mayor in accordance with the general laws of Massachusetts, Chapter 44, recommending that City Council authorize the proposed relocation of the sewer line and easement located at 651 Belmont Street.
Accepted and placed on file.
Communication from the CFO relative to the same.
Accepted and filed.
Ordered that the City of Brockton grants to D'Angelo's Inc. a revised sewer easement over and under city-owned land identified as 651 Belmont Street, Brockton, Mass. To provide certain sewer easement as revised to the original easement recorded in Plymouth County Registry of Deeds in Book 3361, page 90, over or under the identified parcel as more particularly described in the proposed revised easement attached with this order. And further, the City Council authorizes the mayor to execute the attached revised easement and to take other actions necessary to carry out the terms, purposes, and conditions of the same.
Refer to finance. Any other late files?
Council President, I got a late file.
Councilor Texiera.
Second.
Motion to late file properly seconded. All in favor? Anyone opposed? The late file is accepted. Mr. Clerk.
Ordinance, an ordinance amending Chapter 8, Section 8-9 of the revised ordinances of the City of Brockton. The following language: the fee shall be increased to $360, billed at $90 4 times per year, shall be replaced with the fee shall be increased to $440, billed at $110 4 times per year. And councilors, that's just the order that was read earlier. It needs to be an ordinance on the refuse fees.
This matter is referred to finance.
To ordinance.
Oh, excuse me, ordinance. The matter is referred to ordinance.
And that's all I have.
That's all the late files. Councilor recognition. Councilor Lally.
Moment of, I keep wanting to say moment of personal privilege. Thank you, Mr. President. I wanted to announce again to my colleagues and to the folks at home that this Saturday, May 31st, from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m., I will be hosting a meeting at the Brookfield Elementary School with the Boston Legacy Women's Football Club. They will be making themselves available and accessible to present their vision for the sports complex property, answer questions, hear concerns, and try and lay everything out. They've said that they're going to, bring food and things like that, but they're also going to bring people to talk about the engineering, the construction. They're going to try and bring their person who would handle any clearing that would have to be done, and they are shooting to bring somebody to speak on traffic as well. So we should have a pretty good layout of the folks there. Again, that is May 31st, this Saturday, from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Brookfield School. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Lally. Councilor Nicastro.
Thank you. Yesterday, Memorial Day, wreaths were laid by the Veteran Services and others at Melrose Cemetery, at the monument at the top of Legion Parkway, at the Korean-Vietnamese War Memorial, which is at the corner of Center Street and Main Street, at the Bertossi Club, and also there was a wreath laid at the War Memorial as part of the services and the parade. And all of this was quarterbacked by Veteran Services, which is headed by Kelly Young. And I want to congratulate Kelly and all of her team and the many people who made yesterday happen, including the VFW auxiliary. It was wonderful. It was moving and stirring and a wonderful way to memorialize our beloved dead who fought to keep us free. Freedom is not free. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor, and may all our fallen rest in peace. Anyone else? Councilor, just quickly, I was asked by Councilor Azak for a few announcements. Councilor Azak is attending her oldest daughter's college graduation this evening. Urban Air Trampoline Park will be conducting a ribbon cutting this Friday, May 29th at 3 p.m. Also at Urban Air, there will be a first responders night in which first responders get to participate free. That will be, again, this Friday, May 29th from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. And then just lastly, this Friday, May 30th at 10:30 a.m., the City of Brockton will be celebrating its 126th Huntington School Parade. And so that will start off at 10:30 a.m. at the Huntington School in Brockton. If you can join us, please do so. It's always a great event. Councilors, with no further business before this council, I declare this meeting adjourned.